Good morning. I am Van, backyard carpenter, and Jane's over there. She's with me today. Yay! But anyway, so these are the chairs that I've already sanded up. One of them I kind of gooked up, got to work on. But anyway, so I'm setting myself up here. This is a type 2x4s go between here and here, so I got to cut that piece 2x4 to 4 feet, all right, and then go get my work surface. Over here, this is so that Jane can take a nap sometime during the day. Right? She missed that statement. Anyway, so Jane is with me, the other backyard carpenter, and she's taking a palm sander with 220. Again, this reason it's called a palm sander is when you press your palm, it activates it. And this is 220 that she's using. So she's main thing we're doing is just knocking off the sheen. This is the legs of the table, right? And then as soon as she's through with this, we'll bring around the top and start. We will use chemical on it because it's easy to do. I've learned my lesson about using chemicals on legs of chair. And again, this is for Jane to be able to take a nap later today. Yeah. The 2x4 I was using was a stud. So it's like 92 and something. So I cut each at 46. So that's what the base is going to look like. And now I'm going to take my work surface, which is leaned against the fence over there, and tote it over here and put it in place. Now I'm going to start again on the chairs. I really got to clean up that gooky one. I learned my lesson about using chemicals on it. But that's where I am. This is the chair that I use the chemicals on. And it's just too many delicate turnings for the chemical to be effective because you can't use a putty knife. All right, so now I've got to clean it up by sanding it down. I'm using 100 grit, all right, 100 grit sandpaper and strips, and I'm going to sand this down. That will mean that 4 are done, and all I lack is 2 as Jane continues to work on the legs of the table. Top of the table, and this time I am able to use the chemicals. By the way, I did find a sign saying that this furniture was made in Yugoslavia, which shows you it's been a while. I don't think Yugoslavia has been a country since the 90s. But anyway, so I'm going with the grain. This is some kind of Yugoslavian ash. And I'm going with the grain back and forth. All right. And in this case, yes, I can use the chemical because I'm going straight line. And I'll be able to use a putty knife. Just couldn't use the chemicals on turning legs, tables, stuff like that. So anyway, so I got a good covering. Gonna let it sit for about 20 minutes. Come back with a putty knife and take it down. What you're looking at is the second layer of the gooky stuff. I scraped across the first time, and I guess because it's a windy day and it is in the sun, a little bit of shade, not much, it's drying a lot quicker than I usually it's like 20-30 minutes before you start scraping it off. In this case it's only taking 10, so in about 5 more minutes I've got to scrape this layer off and probably put a third layer on. So that's what we're up to. And the noise here in the background is Jane working on the chairs. All right, this is the second time I put the chemical, and now I'm straightening it off. It's getting better. Like I said, I take it if it's from Yugoslavia, it's some kind of Yugoslavian ash. Beautiful stuff though. But I'm going along with the grain, not against the grain, with the grain. The grain's going like this, so I'm going like this. All right, what I've got in this bottle, is a non-toxic mineral spirit that I'm going to spray on a rag, and wipe this down. I've got it down to almost to the neck of wood. You know, not being used to Yugoslavian techniques in wood and whatever they use. I'm not exactly sure. It didn't bubble up like normal. Okay, I'll get right here. It didn't bubble up like normal. It kind of looked like honey, for lack of a better word. So now I'm going to spray this down, let it sit overnight, and address it tomorrow. Notice I'm spraying the rag and not going directly. This is where we're getting to. We're going to have to address this chair one more time to do a little bit more sanding, but the rest of them are ready to go. It's go for tomorrow to paint. The legs and the bottom of the table white. The chairs will be solid black. This from Yugoslavia with whatever they use to polyurethane. I've got to address a little bit more before I put an American polyurethane on it. But that's where we're gotten to today. And we're looking forward to using a new type sprayer that our wonderful neighbor next door is going to let us use. He's going to show us how to use it. So exciting. Be back tomorrow. God bless.